It's kind of funny if you think about it. When we were young, we hated being around our parents. Now it's like a trip down memory lane for us as we get older. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's movie review of Don't Make Me Go, the newest film from director Hannah Marks. So, in this Amazon Prime original movie, Don't Make Me Go, this film stars, of course, John Cho and Mia Isaac as, of course, Max and Wally Park. Of course, John Cho's character is the father. Wally, of course, is the daughter. And it's basically a story about what ends up happening when you find out you have a tumor, you have something that is going to kill you in less than a year, and you are basically a single parent. You are a single dad, and you have a daughter she's in high school, but you have to deal with that fact that you're not going to be there forever. And so basically, he, with the help of this college reunion, which is a 20-year college reunion, decides he's not only going to take his daughter on a road trip to the college reunion, but he's going to find the mom that ran away that didn't take care of the daughter and reunite the two. So she at least has somebody when he passes away. And in the process of everything, it becomes kind of a character study, a study about life and how it's very short, and how like family is very important, and just dealing with like everyday situational problems, like with Wally and her boyfriend who's very sexually active and stuff like that. And then on top of that, Max's character has a woman on the side, kind of not a girlfriend, but kind of like a booty call, who's played by Kate Scodelario, I think is her name. It basically, like, once again, just becomes a road trip movie about two people connecting that have kind of weighing to the side. They're not really, as connected as they used to be. So that's the kind of film you're getting into. It's a drama, it's a comedy, it's, a very kind of, coming of age story as well as a road trip movie. So a film like this, Don't Make Me Go, is interesting because, it premiered, I think, at Tribeca Film Festival. It got pretty decent reviews. I didn't read all the reviews, but from what I read, people enjoyed it for the most part. But I like Amazon Prime more than a lot of like streaming services, because they're putting out films that are more character driven. They're not a lot of action in these films. They're more just like, you look at like Manchester by the Sea, or, Encounter or something like that, or Night Sky to an extent. These are films that, are kind of breath of fresh airs, because they at least attempt to do something that is not, Six Underground or whatever. And I was actually, kind of interested in seeing this film after I watched the trailer. It looked like a fun film. John Cho's a pretty decent actor. It looked like there was some good chemistry in this film between, him and his daughter in the film. So I was like, you know what? I want to check this out. Thank you once again to the company for allowing me to see this movie early. Let's put it this way, for my honest review of this movie. For two-thirds of this movie, I actually thought this was one of the best movies of the year. I really did. I thought it was fantastic. The character moments between John Cho and Mia Isaac are really fantastic. They're really heartfelt. It is very authentic in its feeling. The idea of a single father having to deal with the tropes of a high school kid, coming under this kind of sad conclusion that he's going to die because of this tumor, having to deal with the fact of how he's going to tell his daughter, but kind of, being like every human being, where if we have something like that happen, we are afraid to tell people because we're afraid of the consequence, not consequences, but the ideas of how they're going to react. It's it's a big deal. So wrapping that around with the idea of college reunion, and attempting to go back and see the mother, I found that really fascinating. And I think Mia Isaac's actually kind of a revelation in this movie. I don't really know much about her, but she's absolutely fantastic, playing that high school teenager, dealing with like the boyfriend who is very like I said, sexually active and stuff like that. So he's very of that type of a high schooler, and she's dealing with her father who's kind of forcing her to go on this road trip, even though she doesn't realize what it's about. I really love that stuff. I love John Cho and Kate Scodelaria's relationship. I think it's a lot of fun. It goes to really interesting places. There's a lot of things brought up that are really interesting. She's there as kind of a support person, but she doesn't really want a relationship, which is kind of interesting. But just this movie was just, it kind of took me to some interesting kind of thought-provoking places. And I really love about it. When you get to the reunion and he like reunites with this friend that he hasn't seen for a while, and that, how that plays out, it's very authentic feeling. It feels like a very kind of down to earth, everybody is very, kind of fleshed out and wonderful to watch. And I really love that about this movie. I think it really does work. And I think it's like, once again, for 2/3 of this movie, I thought it was one of the kind of best movies I've seen when it comes to just characterizations of actual real people. And on top of everything, you watch the film and you can relate as a kid to this film. You can also relate as an adult to this film. It is rated R, so there is some suggestive material and some language, but you can see both sides, so that makes it a pretty good quadrant type of movie. So we've talked about the first 2/3 of this movie. Absolutely fantastic. One of the best movies I've seen this year so far. I was on board. These characters are amazing. They feel realistic. But like I said, it's 2/3 of a movie. And the Mia Isaac character says in the beginning of this movie, you're going to love where the story where the story travels, but you're not going to like how the story ends. And she's absolutely right. The writer of the story is absolutely right. You're either going to really love this last third or you're going to absolutely hate it. And this is when the movie became not only not a top 10 anymore, but I felt it was one of the most manipulative, unnecessary last thirds I've ever seen in my entire life. It's not what you think I'm talking about. But it definitely goes to a thing that is going to crack emotion that I feel is very bad storytelling. I really do. This is a last third that just completely unravels everything that was great about this movie, that was great about what Hannah Marks and the writer were doing, what John Cho and Mia Isaac were representing as a realistic, authentic approach to a daughter and a father. I just was like, I told my friend, I'm like, I told him, I said, I was really enjoying this movie, and then the last third happened. I don't know what they were thinking. And it makes me angry because as a movie lover, and yes, this is a movie, the movies are manipulative. That's what they do. That's how they evoke emotion out of you. But there's a difference between manipulative when you tell the story and you get a great payoff, and manipulative to do something that just completely just undermines the idea and concept of what you were presenting. And I couldn't get on board with that. It doesn't mean that John Cho and Mia Isaac aren't great in this movie still, but the way where they went, where they ended this movie, and how they concluded it, there is no absolute logical reason they should have done what they did. It really is a kind of a travesty. It really is. I just. Maybe I'm going to be the only one, but there are other reviewers that have said the same thing. This is a movie that just completely falls under its own pretentious nature, and yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. It really made me mad that I actually spent an hour and 50 minutes of what I thought was a great movie to end up just being completely baffled by what they were doing. And that's a problem. That really is. When you see it coming, you'll understand why I'm so upset by it, because of what it's doing and what's presenting. And it decides to go, if you're traveling this way, it just decides to go that way to the right or left, however you're looking at the camera. And in the end, it's just it ruins the movie. It really does. It makes this movie from a top 10 to just completely forgettable. And this might end up making one of my worst of the year lists just for that specific reason. Like I said, you can have great 2/3 and you have to stick that landing, but when you're sticking that landing and you decide to kind of crash the wheels and the wheels fall out and you're doing it on purpose, that is a problem with me. And there are movies out there that have interesting kind of ideas and concepts and storytelling, and then they try to throw in something at the very end to make it, a certain emotion, and it just doesn't work. And that's what happens here. And I understand what the warning at the beginning is, a warning to the audience. Do not do what they did in this movie, because you will absolutely ruin your movie. It is absolutely a travesty what happens. But once again, John Cho and Mia Isaac are fantastic in this movie for what it's worth. The kind of conclusion with their story is, I like their characters still. I just don't like what happens to the story in the end. I think it's bad storytelling, and I really still want the writer and director to do something later in the future, something what they feel passionate about. But I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. That's just my honest opinion. So with that said, I can't recommend this film. I really can't. Or if, like I said, if you do watch it, watch the first 2/3 and then skip it after that. So, but anyways, that will do it for my take on Don't Make Me Go, the film that premieres on Amazon Prime Plus with John Cho and Mia Isaac. Yeah. So, anyways, with that said, that'll do it. Thank you so much for watching. Comments below if you see this movie. Let me know what you think. Are you interested in seeing this movie now that I ranted for 5-6 minutes or whatever on the the bad ending? Let me know in the comments. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.